Joining us tonight is Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch, and one of the most knowledgeable people in the country on the issue of voter fraud. And I'm sure that you had to be more than a little chagrined to hear the rather pious Twitter statements about the president. I mean, I cannot even imagine what what's his name, Jack Dorsey, the precious idiot who leads that organization. Who does he think he is?
Well, Twitter came down on the side of a partisan, illegal move by the governor of California to send ballots willy-nilly to everyone, quote, registered to vote, which would include, under Newsom's own rules, people who have died or moved away who are still on the registration rolls. So when the president raises concerns about that, he's right. And when Twitter says those concerns are unfounded, they're wrong and they're misleading people. And I tell you what, Lou, if the governor of California is illegally going to be sending out ballots, those ballots may end up never getting counted under law. So if you want your votes to count in California, if you want the rule of law to prevail on Election Day, we want to stop dead this plan by the governor to blow up the elections, at least in California.
Well, and we
which
know
is what we're trying to do with
all over the country.
Well, yes, and
Right,
other states
right.
are pushing harder on it, but it's a major, major issue.
It's stunning stuff. I just, I cannot. What is the president's recourse here? He's taking up the section of the FCC regulations, trying to get responsibility rather than immunity for big tech and social media platforms. What more can be done? They come right back the next day and act like they are a left-wing activist organization.
Well, that's what they are. And Section 230, the law the president's referenced, people talk about changing Section 230. I've always been of the opinion, and the president now seems to be of the opinion too, that the law didn't need to be changed, that reality needed to be recognized, that these companies were acting as publishers as opposed to neutral parties just allowing people to post on their bulletin boards. When you start telling people what they can and can't post outside the typical forms of unprotected activity like violence and pornography, and you start saying politically you can't post that, that's publishers. And publishers don't have the protections that the Twitter and Facebook and Google monopolies do. So the president's highlighting that really protection, they've given up their protection, and so people who are victimized, they may get cases now.
Right. Well, this is the time for an end to these immunities that have been created, whether it be in civil law or criminal. It's time for people to be held accountable for their actions.